I'm going to try and make a ride plate for this, just out of this aluminium. It's only 2 mil, so I think it's a little bit too thin, but it's just an experiment. Be easy to cut. If it makes any difference at all, I'll make a thicker one. But apparently you put it over here and run it out the back here, and the boat is meant to ride on that bit, make it go faster apparently. I don't know, I read like one thing on it. I guess I should have read more, but it's just something I just want to have a little play around with, see what happens. Okay, so there she is. I've used the original grate as well, and I've put that on top of my 2 mil plate. I started off by cutting the holes in the plate that I made, and I was not going to use the original grate, but by the time I cut through there, only being 2 mil, there just wasn't enough strength in the plate to leave these small fins here, and cutting most of it out. So I ended up abandoning that idea and just cutting the whole thing out, bigger than the size of the original grate. And I put the original one on the outside because it was thick enough to have the chamfer in there, like for these tapered bolts. I just didn't have enough thickness in the 2 mil to be able to put a chamfer in it for each one. Plus it allowed me to be able to drill the holes a little bit bigger as well, and cheat a little bit. Rather than the 3 mil bolts, I made them 4 mil, so I had a bit of wiggle room, so it bolted straight on. So I'm going to take it to the lake now when my battery charges, see what happens. I've done a little bit more reading on it, and apparently I'm going to lose reverse. That's the big boats, that's what they say on the forum. You're not going to have reverse, which doesn't matter to me one iota. We'll see if it makes any difference at all, or it's been a total waste of time. Oh shit. Definitely seems smoother. Let's change the trim a little bit. Oops. Get the nose up a bit, see what happens. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, it's definitely better, for sure. I've got the trim all the way up where I couldn't drive it at before. Because it was bouncing too much. Jeez. It's actually made a huge difference, that little plate. I reckon it might be angled down a little bit too much though. Okay, second test with the ride plate. I had it dead flat yesterday, and it drove much better, but it was pushing the nose down. I just couldn't get it to not run wet. So I've angled it up a little bit. I had to pull it all off and bend it in the vise. So now it should fix that problem, but we'll see what happens. See what we got. Just going to adjust it down. Where are we? This one. Steering. Auxiliary. Oh. Oh, that's better. Oh, look at that. Come down a little bit more. I think I might have been going the wrong way. Went down like 70. Oh yeah, I was. That's what you want, just a little bit of bounce, but not popping out like that when I slow it down. A little bit more. Well, before I had that ride plate, I could not do that. If I was ever going to run flat out, the thing was either bouncing and sucking air, or if I pulled the trim right down, it was just, or if I pulled the trim down, it was just running too wet, and there was nothing in between. But now I can just pull the throttle all the way, and yeah. Once I've got that cup, the trim cup where I wanted it, it's perfect. Amazing. Now apparently reverse doesn't work when you have a trim or that plate on there, according to the big boat guys. So let's find out. I've just pushed the cup all the way down. Huh, it works on this. Well, it does work. So if I push it the other way, that's the cup back up, and off she goes again.